Alright guys, we've been getting a lot of questions about the attribute system that's currently on JP that is about to hit global, hopefully with this long update that's happening tonight. So basically, into your team window, you're going to have two additional buttons. First is the Guru on the left and the Whis on the right. If you click on the Guru, you're going to be taken to this screen. And it's going to have one of your URs that's on top, his stats, what they are right now, HP, attack, defense. And then if you look at the top right above the actual picture, it tells you what attributes have been enhanced. You see it says +0, +0, +0 because I haven't really messed with this Goku. And then right above his picture, that percentage is how much a percentage you have actually unlocked in the attribute system. If you take a look at the icons right next to the Goku's picture, excuse me, you'll see this multiple fist punching. That is the critical, that is the multiple attack. So after you finish your first attack, it'll give you a chance to attack a second time, and that can either be a super attack or a base attack. Next to it, the fist that's punching towards you is the critical hit chance. A super attack or base attack will have a chance to critically hit your enemy. Next to that, the blue figure that's running, that's the dodge. That dodge counts for regular attacks or super attacks from your enemy. And then the Goku that's powering up is an increase to your base damage against the type advantage, or not the type advantage, but the type that you're disadvantaged against. So if you're an agile that's hitting a tech, you'll have a stronger base attack. The Goku that's blocking himself right next to it, that's going to be your defense against incoming damage. So you'll take less damage from types that you're disadvantaged against. The spear next to it, that's going to increase your super attack power. That's separate from your actual super attack level. So if you're at super attack level 1, it'll increase your super attack strength, not necessarily it won't give you like a super attack 2. It'll just increase the strength of your super attack. And then the little Goku head green that's right next to it, the very last one, that's increases how much heal you get per type orb that you consume. So if you line up a whole field of orbs like you're going to nuke, you'll receive a much bigger increase to your health than what you would have normally. So I zoomed out a little bit so you can see out the entire map of this Goku. As you can see, there are 4 paths. The upper left-hand one is the one that we recommend that most people take first, because if you look, you see all these stars up here? Those are the ones that are increasing the most effective or the most sought-after unlocks, like your critical hit and your multiple attacks. But if you come to the top left and you follow it all the way across, right under where you see that second picture of Goku's head, you'll see that right here you can unlock a multiple attack without having to use a dupe. And where you see all of these Goku heads, the cards in the field, right here, here, and here, those are the paths that you actually need to be using a dupe on. So if you, let's go to a card that I've actually worked on a little bit. Let's go to Gogeta. As you can see, I've increased his health, his attack, and his defense by almost 3 grand on each one of them. And I'm 61% finished filling out his attribute system. I had one dupe, and before I knew too much about it, I went with the upper right hand corner, which isn't bad, but as you can see, I only unlocked 1 star path, which gave me an increased super attack level, which is good for Gogeta because he hits really, really hard, but it would have been a lot more beneficial to me if I had taken this top left hand path, because I would have gotten 3 of those bonus attributes. So over here, had I taken this path, this is the only one, if I'm not mistaken, that is actually requiring your super attack to be a particular level. So if I try to, for instance, if I try to click this orb right here, it's going to tell me that I need a super attack level of 6 to proceed, but mine is only at 4, which is shown in that red. Each of these nodes increases a particular trait. So let's go to another card that I haven't worked on as much. Let's go to Rose. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to click on this little fist. That's going to increase my attack by 25. If I spend these nodes right here, the 10 or the 5, and on the right hand side it'll show me how much I actually have in my inventory of those. Each card, each type card has their own, like for instance Tech has its own. You can see how much you have by just clicking on one of these orbs. And again, look, this one says that I need to be super attack level 2 to proceed down the bottom right hand path, but I'm only at 1. So I can only take these other 3 paths. And it's the same for every card. Each of them kind of does their own specific thing. Like if you click on Baby, that top left hand attribute that it offers gives me the dodge. So his is a level 8. And I've gotten a couple dupes for him, so I increased his dodge a little bit more, and also his critical strike chance because he is a nuclear. And you do need exact dupe copies, so I can't take a pan like that Intelligence Pan SR or the Tech one and try to feed it into her. I need the exact dupe. And to do this, to let me see, I don't know, I don't think that I have any actual dupes right now, except for, I have this Trunks, but I don't want to awaken him yet. Your card has to be actually awakened, it can't be a base SR. You have to awaken him into a UR to do to feed the dupes. And if your card is a TUR, like SSJ4 Vegeta, or any of these other TURs, you can actually revert him back to the base form, so you don't have to re-doke on the card again. And all those hourglasses that you need to revert the card back into its base form are in the Baba shop. So let's go check them out real quick. They cost 30 gems, and you can buy as many of them as you need. You can also purchase them with this new currency, with the virtual battlefield that they just tested out for, that's quite a bit, 1,500. I didn't spend too much time on it. As you can see, I only have like 3 grand. So we're just going to scroll down. And here they are. You can buy as many of them as you have the currency for. I'll buy one just to show you how exactly you use it. Okay, so that goes directly into your inventory. So to revert your cards, instead of going to the Guru, you're going to come over to the Whis. And it'll tell you right here, the top one is how many cards you have available that can be reverted back into their base form. So we'll click on whatever, click on that. We'll go with SSJ4 Vegeta, and it's going to tell you his stats are right now up at the top, and then the stats that he's going to revert to once he uses the hourglass. And it's telling you here at the bottom, it's going to take 1 hourglass to feed him and 1 hourglass to revert him. So we'll just do okay. And as you can see, my super attack level was 8 before I reverted him, and that's going to stay the same. If you have a card like LR Goku and he's at 20, it's going to revert it back to 10 because that's the max that the SSR version of the LR Goku can be. But when you revert him back to TUR, it's going to keep the 20 super attack level. You don't have to reform your super attack level again. So if I had a dupe and I didn't want to re-doke on SSJ4 Vegeta, I could have just reverted him. And as you can see, he's no longer listed in this group of TURs that can be reverted. So let's say that I've gotten my dupe. I am ready to change him back. You're going to go back to the Whis, and now this Rainbow Goku right here says 1. That means that I have 1 card that's available to revert back into TUR. So you'll just do the same thing again. You click on Vegeta. He's going to show you what stats are going to be once you revert him back. His team cost is going to go up and all the HP and all that. You can also mess or add points to the attribute system while he's in base form, and it will keep them once you revert him back to TUR. So, like, there, you see? And it'll keep the same boosts. So we'll go back and we'll make Vegeta SSR. And again, it'll tell you I only have 1 card that's available to do this to. So that's how you know if you haven't, like, accidentally reverted a TUR or not. So you'll do the same thing, hit OK. And he'll revert back to his TUR form. Okay, and now it tells you that there's nobody left to do that to. So, how do you get the points or the gems to unlock all of these different attributes? There's an event that comes with the type. So if you're not sure what today's type is, we do have it in the group's info. It's under the events. And you can do it 3 times a day, if I'm not mistaken. They might have bumped it to 5. I can't remember. It may be 5 under special circumstances, like when they're doing like their holiday events, they'll bump it up to 5. But today is going to be the intellect, and it's this. It'll change. It'll have 3 different bosses. I don't know if it'll show us on here. Yeah, there you go. These guys right here are the special bosses. If you run into them on the field, they'll give you enormous boosts of the currency to unlock the attributes or the gems, whatever you'd like to call them. Let's see. Yeah, 3 times a day, and I have 18 hours left to do this. So we'll run through it once just to show you guys how exactly it works. I mean, it's not anything complicated. They do hit fairly hard, so I would recommend taking a team that's a type advantage, or like on JP, if you have a really overpowered team like Super Saiyan 4 Goku or Vegeta, just use them. Starting from the left, that's the weaker boss, I guess the medium, and then the hardest boss is typically on the right hand side. And behind here, behind these guys, if you see a boss back here, that's the special boss, and it's a rare spawn. It's just random. I typically just try to take whichever one will give me the most output, so I'm probably gonna do him and then hope that I can get that last node back there. So let's see. And when this attribute system first hit, my JP account really wasn't that strong, so I did have a little bit of difficulty with the team if it wasn't a type advantage. So if you have a rainbow team that isn't as strong, or a mono team that isn't as strong as the type advantage, I would just go with the type advantage team. Like, so take a Phi team. But he's so stupidly strong that this will be over in a minute. As you can see, he had 3 health bars, but I mean, that's no big deal to most people's boxes anymore. See, very easy. And that yielded me 55 of these small orbs. There's 3 different ones. The small ones, the medium, and then there's like a gold tier. That's the medium tiers, had the little lightning bars around it, but I don't think that I got any of the top tier ones, but that's okay. I don't think I have too many ant cards anyways. So now that I've cleared it, I can do this stage 2 more times for the day, and then I have to wait until next week to farm more of these orbs. So it really makes you have to think about what cards you're going to invest in. Yeah, like you can see, there's the bronze outline for the little ones, and then the silver outline, and I didn't get any golds this time around. And to access this dupe system, I didn't touch about that earlier, I'm going to do that now. You have to be rank 155, I'm sorry, 150, rank 150 to access it, and you also have to have beaten the Epic Showdown stage. This. You have to have beaten both stages of the Epic Showdown for you to be able to access it. If you haven't done either of them, both of them will be redded out. Like, they'll be there, but you can't touch them or you can't access them. So basically that's it. I mean, it's really not hard to figure out. I believe that there's a Final Fantasy game that has something similar to this. But you really do have to think about who you're going to invest your gems in, because you can only farm them 3 times a week. You can also earn them in JP with the World Tournament and in that virtual battlefield for achieving a high enough rank. And they also gave us some for the 2-year anniversary. They gave us like a bunch when SSJ4, Goku, and Vegeta came out. But aside from those gifts, you really just have the one shot a week to farm them. So you really have to consider, am I going to invest my gems in this card, or this card? As you can see, the ones that are the flashing stars, that means that I've invested attribute points into them, or that I've fed a dupe into the system. I think that I did that with him. I just had a dupe. Let's see. Yeah, I just ended up having a dupe, and you can check to see which dupes paths that you have unlocked at the top right hand corner. You see I've got this one unlocked, and it's right there. It'll take you to where you've unlocked it, and the other 3 are locked, and if you click on them, it'll take you to where they are locked. Excuse me. And the other ones that the star is not flashing, I haven't messed with them. I haven't fed dupes to them, and I haven't unlocked any warp paths with them. But basically that's it. If you have any more questions, feel free to post them into the group or tag one of the admins and we can assist you. But that's about it. This is Wooxie, TMV fam. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for your time.